Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Got a nice practice planned for us today. Let's see if I got this right. It's pretty close to right. All right. I just want to begin seated today. Seated on your mat. If sitting cross-legged or sitting on your mat is uncomfortable for you at the very start, feel free to sit in a chair or even stand. We're just going to do a little bit of motion through the arms and shoulders. So if sitting like this at the very beginning of practice, the very beginning of the day isn't comfortable for you, feel absolutely free to change it up a bit. Get your wiggles out, lengthen up through the spine. Shut your eyes. Just that first moment of turning off the outward gaze helps us to turn our attention inward. You can check in with yourself. Set an intention for the day ahead. Just a couple of breaths here. Nice and easy. No need to change them, just observe them. Feel the breath. I have a little bit of construction going on. It sounds like across the street. I hope it's not bothersome. Hope the mic isn't picking it up too much. These are the kinds of things that when we are meditating, when we're doing our self-care, and we're turning our attention inward, it's nice to cultivate the ability to just set that aside and not let it bother you. And open your eyes. Take your hands to your chest. Interlace the fingers. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, press your palms forward. Round and press them so far forward, your shoulder blades start to draw apart, draw away from one another. You can tuck your chin and even round your spine a little bit more. So the crown of the head, the palms are reaching forward. The navel, the low back is pulling back. Now on your next inhale, let's bring the palms right up to the ceiling. Push your first finger up towards the ceiling and pull your pinky finger down towards the crown of your head. Extend up through the elbows. Just a big stretch here. Now, on your next exhale, release the bind of the fingers and bring your palms straight out from your shoulders. Push out with the heel of your hands and pull in towards your ears with your fingernails. Elbows are straight. This is a big stretch for me. Next, inhale. Interlace your fingers behind your back and roll the shoulders back, the chest open. Press the knuckles towards the floor behind you. You can try to lift your pinky fingers just a little bit. And let's release from that. Come back. Bring your hands at heart. So I want to do that a couple more times. This time flowing with the breath. And as you interlace fingers, you can change the interlace of your finger, putting a different finger on top each time. Okay? So a nice big inhale. Exhale, palms forward. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms out. Inhale, chest expansion. Hands behind the back, open the chest. As you exhale, hands to your heart. Let's do it again. Big breath in. Exhale, palms forward. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms out. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, hands to heart. Take a breath in here. One last time, palms forward. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, palms out. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, hands to your heart. Let's make our way now to a tabletop pose. So you can just roll over your feet, plant your hands, crawl around if you need to, like me. Get yourself in the middle of your mat. Let's take a couple of cat-cows. Inhale to tip the tailbone up, drop the belly, chest comes forward. Exhale to round. Turn the tailbone down, lift the navel, broaden the shoulders, tuck the chin. Couple more times. Move between these two poses. And when you're ready, inhale to a neutral pose. And as you exhale, find a downward facing dog. So just lift the hips up and back, let your heels sink. Actually, you can move around here, pedal your feet, walk them wide, walk them back together. For sure, shake your head. When you're ready, I want to come up to stand at the front of the mat. So lift the heels, bend the knees. As you exhale, bring your feet forward to the front of the mat. Soften the knees, and let's come all the way up to stand. Hands up, you can look up. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften the knees. Bring your hands to the mat and step your feet back to the back of the mat. Plank pose. Take a nice big breath in here. You can bring your shoulders forward and exhale to the mat. Let me get my hair in my teeth. Inhale, cobra pose. Keep your shoulders, roll your shoulder blades towards one another. Collarbones are broad. And keep the chin tucked so we're not crunching the back of your neck. Exhale to roll down. Tap your forehead. 2 more times. Keep the chin tucked, the back of the neck long, and light in the hands. Almost all back muscles doing this here. Curl the toes under. Next inhale, lift up, plank pose. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Lift the heels, bend the knees, bring your knees down onto the mat so that they're about hip width apart. And slide your hips back over your heels, child's pose. Reach the hands forward, tap the forehead. Take a full cycle of breath here. And then inhale up to a tabletop pose. Toes curled under. We're going to lift the knees so they're just hovering off the mat, just a couple of inches off the mat. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, I want you to pivot on the ball of the right foot. Bring the knee, draw the knee out to the right, and slide your hips back over your heels. So it's sort of a modified child's pose. And then exhale back to your floating table. Next, other side. Inhale, pivot on your left toes, left knee out to the left. Slide back to your child's pose, modified child's pose, and then back to table. If you want, you can do this with knees down. Slide your right knee out while your left knee is on the mat. Back to table, the left knee out. So some options here. Just flowing with these side to side, getting a little mobility in the hips. Definitely getting a little fire in your body. Back to table, and then downward facing dog. Nice big breath in here. Long, slow exhale. Let's inhale the right heel up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. And work into your ankle here a couple of times. Point and flex your toes. Inhale to extend. And exhale. Lower right foot forward between the hands. Lower the left knee. Roll your shoulders back. Can lift your fingers so they're up on blocks here if you like, or just tent the fingers, giving yourself a little bit of height. Let's sink the hips forward and down. And inhale up to like a kneeling crescent. Left hip over the left knee. Reaching up with your hands. Nice big breath in. As you exhale, sink the hips forward and down. Your knee can come past your ankle here. Just a big stretch. And then come back up to your 90-90 lunge. I call this one the 90-90 lunge because your knees, both knees are making 90-degree angles. And then swing forward and back. Couple of times. Just nice, easy breath. We used to be told not to let the knee come out over the ankle, but newer studies have shown that it's safe to let your knee come out over your ankle. And I'm really happy because it opens up a lot more possibilities in my practice, different ways to move. You can come forward, maybe make a big circle with the shoulders, bring the hands down. Lift your left knee, and let's step back to downward facing dog. Full cycle of breath here. And then walk your feet to the width of the mat. Toes off the mat, heels on the mat, so they're at a bit of an angle. Soften your knees, and walk your hands back to your feet. Sink into your hips, so we're in a low yogi squat. Elbows inside the knees. You can stay here just like this. Hands at your heart. If you want, you can bring your hands down to the mat and give yourself a little bit of support, maybe in the front or maybe behind. We want to add a little bit into this, a little bit of hip extension into this. We can take your elbows from inside the knees. Bring your hands to your hips or maybe to the floor, and roll to the inner arch of your right foot and tap your right knee down onto the floor just in front of you, and then come back to your squat. And then do the left side. Just bring the weight into the right foot, tap the left knee, and then back to center. Couple more times, each side. Just working on that, or maybe you're holding your static squat. It's up to you. Wow. Fingertips to the mat. And then let's lift up to a forward fold. You can pivot on your feet till they are parallel to one another, about hip width apart. Soften your knees and dangle here. Soften your fingertips to the mat. Soften your knees a whole lot. Hands up. You can look up. As you exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Soften your knees and let's walk your hands back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left heel. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. And wiggle your toes of the left foot, turn the ankle. Inhale to extend. And exhale, the left foot comes forward between the hands. Lower down onto your right knee. And take a nice lunge here. Roll the shoulders back, the chest forward. Maybe one time work into the hamstring. I think we did that on the first time. Come back to your kneeling lunge. And let's inhale up to the 90-90 lunge. Hands up overhead, turn the tailbone down. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, sink the hips forward and down like the pubic bone is sinking down towards the left heel. And then you can inhale back up. So to dig in, try and dig into your left heel to come back up to your 90-90 lunge. Just notice the motion here. I won't direct you how fast or slow to go. Let your breath, your body take the lead here. And notice how it feels to be making these moves. Come back up to your 90-90 lunge and then let's circle the hands around. Frame the front foot. Lift the right knee. And let's step the left foot back to meet the right in your downward facing dog. Nice breath in. Long, slow exhale. Inhale to lift the heels, bend the knees. And as you exhale, bring your feet forward to the front of the mat. Find a halfway lift. Forward fold. Soften the knees and come all the way up to stand. Hands up, you can look up. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Take your feet wide to the width of the mat again. Toes off the mat, heels on the mat. Yes, we're coming back into a low yogi squat. Coming all the way down, sinking into the hips. Knees pointing out over the toes. You can bring your elbows inside your knees. Again, you can stay here. You can stay active. Or you can round the body down and let the backs of your hands rest. Be passive. Up to you. Or, third option, elbows inside the knees, hands in a prayer position. Bring your thumbs to your breastbone, just onto your chest. And so elbows are glued to the knees, thumbs are glued to the chest. You want to lift the hips until they're about knee height. So we're looking like this. You're going to have a nice flat back parallel to the floor. And then exhale to lower. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Couple more times. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Making our way back to our low yogi squat. If you've been passive, you can come back up, bring your shoulders back up. From here, I want to make our way to a boat pose. So you can use your hands to help you, or you can keep your hands up. If you reach your hands forward, that's going to help you land your butt with it, not too heavy anyway. Shins parallel to the ceiling. Hands on the mat, hands reaching forward, all up to you. Maybe bring the toes up towards the ceiling. What's important here is that you have a nice long straight spine. Roll the shoulders back, the chest, the collarbones are wide open. No caving in on the front of the body. 2 more breaths here. Bring the soles of your feet together. Bend your knees out to the sides. You can grab your ankles and slowly bring that outer ankles down onto the mat so you're in a cobbler pose. You can pull your heels in close to your body for an inner thigh stretch, or let them draw away from you for more of an outer hip stretch. You can roll down over the feet. Nice opportunity to get a sip of tea. There's one mosquito that's been bothering me here. And give your feet a little massage, your toes, getting them ready for the day ahead. I'm going to have a busy day on my feet. So happy to give my feet a little TLC right now. And I've actually had a lot this whole week. And come back up. You can help your knees in if you like. Nice tall spine. Interlace your fingers, bring them to the back of your head. Tuck your chin and let your elbows come inside your knees. Everything's really heavy in your upper body. Chin's tucked, you're looking down, face is heavy, and just letting yourself round down. And then start to draw your knees towards one another. It's going to cause your shoulder blades to draw apart, getting a little extra stretch in the shoulders. And then when you're ready, you can come up out of this. And let's make our way down onto the back. All the way down. Your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Let's settle the left foot down onto the mat. Right ankle to the left knee. For a figure 4 stretch, you could stay here like this. Or maybe bring that left knee in towards your body. Drawing the right ankle with it. Hold on to your calf or your shin. Or maybe the left foot can come up towards the ceiling. You can take your toe. I don't know, whatever feels good. It should feel good. I've got my right hand just gently drawing the right knee away. Let's put the left foot down. And try a recline twist. Now you could hold on to your figure 4 for the recline twist, or you could just stack your knees. It's up to you. Roll onto the left outer hip. Let your left knee drop. The right sole of the foot's going to come down onto the mat. And your arms can extend out in a Y or a T, or maybe a cactus shape. Just a breath or two here. And if you're not liking keeping the figure 4, just take your right leg, stack it over the left. One more breath here. You can unwind your legs and then bring your knees back up to center. Let's try the other side. Left ankle to the right knee. Right knee into the chest. Holding on wherever it feels good for you, or maybe not holding on. Maybe the right foot stays right down on the mat. Release the right foot, right knee down. If you've her right foot down, sorry, if you've lifted it, and then we can roll to the outer right hip, the outer right thigh. Left knee is high. I avoid letting my left knee drop down to the floor. Keep it pointed up at the ceiling. I like that feeling. Maybe you prefer it the other way. Just check in with yourself. Check the different orientations of the knee. And then if you like one, stick with it. Or if you don't like either, but you could stack your left foot over the right. Or your left, yeah, your left knee over the right. Couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, you can unwind from that. Bring knees back up to center. Maybe draw them into your chest. And if there's any last movement or shape you'd like to take this morning before you make your way into Savasana, now's a good time for that. If you're ready for Savasana, go for it. Remember, Savasana is, while usually cued as corpse pose, you can definitely add. When you are ready to begin moving again, start with a couple of deep breaths. And of course, if you're not ready to begin moving again, stay still, stay in Savasana for as long as you have time for. It's always an excellent option. But if you're ready to move on, you can stick with me and start to stretch out, wiggle your fingers and toes, and just stretch out through your body. Just find a big, good morning stretch, and really stretch out right through your fingers and your toes. Like include them in the stretch. So you're really getting right out to your extremities. Maybe even make a funny face or a yawn here. And then draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. When you're ready, sway from side to side or make some circles and come up to find a comfortable seat. Just like we did at the beginning of practice, make yourself comfortable if that means standing or a chair or sitting in any comfortable seat. It does not have to be cross-legged. Inhale, hands up, maybe peace fingers for energy today. And as you exhale, thumbs to the third eye, and we'll hinge forward. That's our final pose for today. Namaste. I thank you for being here with me. If you like this practice, join me again next week. I'm here every Friday, 7:30 a.m. For a good morning flow. And if you have any ideas, any things you'd like to see in practice, send me a note in the comments. And we'll see you next week.